Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on October 28th. I am cursedchords, as always. Um, Tonight, I am once again on my own. Bugle was going to join me, but he was called away by another engagement. So, it'll once again be just me guiding you through our matches for tonight, which, honestly, I think this is gonna be a good time. Let you in on a little secret, perhaps. I sometimes feel awkward when I'm on with a sort of more high energy pair of commentators. Um, I kind of prefer to hopefully guide you through these games with a bit more of a measured, perhaps intimate uh, take on things. So tonight is going to be relatively low key, be giving you the games and a little bit of commentary on the side where I feel appropriate. We'll get through just fine. Tonight we have the second of our semifinal matches. Between Tom and Bugle. Bugle, of course, needs no introduction, I'm sure. A character who has been around the game pretty much since it started, as far as I'm aware, and has been on the competitive scene nearly all of that time. Ever-present face at high-level conventions, and whenever there is competitive gameplay to be had. About that. Tom, meanwhile, a somewhat more of a newcomer to the community. He's been around for a couple of years. Competed in a few of the online events. Does live in Germany, so obviously ability to compete in the convention is somewhat limited by that. But he's had success, obviously, made it to this tournament, and he's looking to make a deep run at this tournament as well. Through to the semifinals now. If he makes it through, excuse me. If he wins this game, he would be guaranteed minimum third place. Make it to the upper final. And of course, a loss here is not the end of the line. Simply be dropping down to the lower bracket. So, those are the two protagonists in tonight's episode. For those unfamiliar with the structure of the tournament, perhaps this is your first time here. If so, welcome. The Invitational tournament is a best of three structure, similar to how Tier 3 events are played at continentals and conventions and such. The trick here, the unique thing, is that both of our players brought 4 decks each, 2 in core and 2 in adventure, with restrictions on how many cards they could share between all their decks. Our best of 3 match will play 1 game of core, 1 game of adventure, and the third game will be random if needed. And in each game, the players will get to choose which deck they want to play from the 2 that they brought for that format. If we get to game 3, then they will play the deck in the format that we choose for game 3 that they didn't play either of games 1 or 2. So that's the gist of the event. I see no reason not to get right on into it. So, in the first game of our match tonight, it is indeed core was the selection. Let me just quickly bring up my spreadsheet of what everyone had, the choices that they had available to them. I know Tom has a Thorax deck. He also has, I believe, a Grogar list. So yes, his choices between a Thorax aggro, standard Thorax, and the Grogar, which is kind of a blue-orange aggressive farm. Meanwhile, Bugle has got a Student 6 aggro list and Tempest Control. And it is a little surprising, I guess, on my part, that I think Bugle is the only participant in Core brought a Tempest Control list, or even much of a control list in general. Hithark has a spell for that cool-ish deck. Other than that, kind of all that fits, which is a little surprising to me. When I banned lacking lesson plans in the core format, certainly my expectation that would lead to more people playing purple control, as Tempest gets a lot of benefit when aggro decks, and especially front to flip mains, they'll have a much harder time flipping early if lacking lesson plans isn't in the format. Anyway, I say all that as preamble, perhaps, because that is a apt prologue to the game that we're about to see. Tom playing Thorax, Bugle playing his control list. I said a front to flip aggro main versus a control deck. So we'll look at Tom's list here first. This should compare this perhaps with some of the other Thoraxes present here. Let me just pull up Ivory's to act as a comparison of sorts. I don't know if they're going to be different. Oh, actually, they are fairly, well, things just moving around, or I mean, yeah, they're largely the same, but there are some differences. What strikes me, I guess, in this particular matchup is that this is a very aggressive. I suppose that goes without saying. It's Thorax, but there aren't actually that many options against opposing troublemakers in here. I mean, yes, Thorax can largely rely on self if he manages to get flipped over. But there are no dilemmas in here. There's the single guard geese. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything that particularly targets troublemakers. Defend the Hive is very good for being able to shove Thorax into a face-off. Spooky Ruins, of course, is good for preventing the opponent's flips. But all that is to say that if playing against Tempest, if Tom isn't going first, and that's a coin flip, we will see the answer to. If he's not going first, and Bugle blocks his concerning cutie mark with a troublemaker, Tempest, Grubber, one assumes, he might have a difficult time really getting into the game because he's going to have to rely on his entry cards, which are fairly limited in here. We have the Kind Pony, Professor of Kindness, Featherweight, 3 copies of Gummy. Is that it? That is actually it, I think. So that's the risk. Of course, if Tom ends up going first, then things are much different. For his sideboard, let me just quickly pull up my notes for this match. Moved a Brian, an Angel, a Fluttershy Bad Hair Day, and 2 Unity 15 Fluttershies. So some of the top end of the matchup keeps in Birds of a Feather, of course. Birds of a Feather is actually one of the things you can do against troublemakers because it's an immediate speed timing. Although Bugle is going to do everything he can to never let Birds of a Feather be in play. So those all largely make sense. If I move on over to Bugle's list, this is roll. I suppose that goes without saying. Bugle, Tempest Control. As I said, this is, I think, the only true standout single-minded control deck, as it were, in the core that we've got. Good plethora of troublemakers, lots of variety in there. He's got a bit of hand attack, orange with coriander. He's got Twilight and Spike, which are probably going to be, you would think, one of the bigger key cards in this matchup. The ability to keep Thorax out of a face-off, away from your troublemakers. It's also a card that cannot be unsatted unless Thorax has a Pegasus, which is not always the case. That deck does have a fair number of critters. Only a few Pegasi. Well, maybe not only a few, but not all of them. Lusterdons for point acceleration, Starlights for AT. A good supply of maybe not removal per se, but reasonable enough removal. Sudden Closure is effectively removal. Spider Surprise, if he's able to hit the Unity 7, that's pretty good. Thorax, in general, doesn't like to spend AT to draw cards. Prefers to spend an AT to move the main around. So going three cards down into the deck is that's going to be gone for a couple of turns probably when that goes off, unless it's something so important and Thorax has got a huge AT bank that he can just draw for it. So, as mentioned, if Bugle goes first, he's going to have probably a pretty good time of it this game. He's still going to need to get set up. He's still going to need to be ready to remove key cards when they come into play. But it's going to be a big advantage. If he's not going first, then he still has a pretty good chance of it. He can still put a troublemaker into play on his first turn. The only way that Tom's going to be able to flip Thorax on turn 1 is if he has a hand with 2 gummies in it. So this is likely to be an early game that Bugle's got pretty well on, and we'll see how the mid game develops from there. So yeah, those are our 2 matches. Give me a quick drink of water before we start. And let us get to it. No surprises, I'm sure, in our drawing problems. 20.
Yeah.
Of course, very happy to see that.
Okay, I'll go first.
Sure.
So, as mentioned,
yeah, I'm just traveling again.
Bugle going first is a pretty huge advantage for him. Does have some things to do with that hand. Does have entry. Does have a snack stand. Although, Bugle's going first, one can assume that entry is not going to be long for this world. I also forgot to mention that Tempest Shadow, Bugle's hand, that's a pretty great card in this matchup.
I also keep.
If both ready to start, the game does get away from you somewhat. Clock starting. Good luck. And the small problems I've got off the board, that Tempest can reset Thorax back, and it's often very difficult for him to come back and get boosted again.
Okay.
So, looks at this hand. With the entry gone, Yona and Antoine are both, well, Yona, Antoine, and Bunyip are all very high requirement. So
we're gonna choose Kind Pony.
Those will be difficult to play. The snack stand is present and can be played, but is not entry. Probably this passes. Okay. Gummy.
Okay, thinking.
Dummy can be played, or rather, put into play. For a 2 rank is not good enough for anything at the moment.
Pass.
Of course, if you're Tom, you have
G2, draw a card.
2 options really. You can either save
I
up
will pass the turn.
until you can
All right.
confront Mystery
19,
at Hope Hollow,
Draw.
7. A lot of power to get there. Or you can try to go for Grover. Only 5 power. Of course, your deck has very low flips, generally.
Right.
So,
Mm,
a bit of a toss-up.
mm,
Which way is better? Those draws are all very unfortunate for him. Drew 3 copies of
Yellow
cards he
pass.
already had.
Okay. Gain 2, draw a card. Pay 3 for Starlight Glimmer. Saw Starlight, gain an action token. Let's see.
Bugle is free to just get set up. Does have the speech. I have to choose if he wants that speech to be orange or blue. Does appear to be looking at Quibble Pants.
Pass the turn.
80. Draw.
Okay. Featherweight something.
All right, then.
Probably still.
All right. Featherweight for 1 and pass.
I was going to
Okay.
say probably wait for some more AT still, but
Ready.
does make sense to use the
2,
stack stand every
draw
every
your
chance you
card.
can. Get maximum advantage out of it.
Okay.
So, Spider Surprise. Wiggle.
Two for Luster Dawn.
Mastodon will start scoring points.
1 for motivational speech and or. Scoreface.
Yep.
Confront for 1. Sauce Glimmer, gain an action token. We will sudden closure Featherweight.
Okay, you're going to be proactive about getting rid of Featherweight. Makes sense.
Oh, wait, I
Knows
can do it like that.
that Tom's
Yeah.
hand
Oh,
is
whoops.
short on entry.
That is not this card pile.
Seems a good bet,
Go ahead.
but that Featherweight was the first entry Tom got.
Oh, yes, good point.
Ready. 80. Draw. Well, I don't really have a choice.
Okay.
Okay.
2 gummies. Enough,
Interesting.
well, enough requirement for friends are always there.
All right. Move forward.
And it looks like he is
Get
going to
2
choose
dummies,
the face-off route.
No.
and
Okay.
so I have.
He's at 3
power.
power.
Yeah.
As mentioned, 3
Then
against
it's my
5.
turn.
Not going to
Okay.
go. Probably.
2.
That's a very aggressive
Ready. Draw a card.
face-off for him if he takes it.
I'll proceed to Scoreface.
Yep.
Confront for 1. Sauce Glimmer, gain an action token.
Bugle
Go
is
ahead.
content to just
Okay.
leave the status quo as is. He now does have the unity for 2 spider surprises.
I think it's 3 versus 5. So yeah, go to main phase.
Okay.
Let's see.
Free requirement is
All right.
Actually, I suppose he could play the
Three
Fluttershy,
critters.
but he has no critters in his discard, so that's not
Okay.
that well for him. Oh, okay.
Bunjip.
Tom's going to
Okay.
go all out.
Another
Let's
Bunjip.
see.
Okay.
That is 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 power cover. So that's sufficient. Significant. He can
Anything else?
probably
I
get
pass.
through
Okay.
if he gets the chance.
Ready, game 3. Draw a card.
Actually, yeah, Grandpa's, you bring up a good point. He
Hmm.
may have forgotten the other mode of Friends Are Always There to gain control of a
Go for
troublemaker.
Big Mac.
That probably would have been a better call. Yeah.
Move Tempest. 1 for a troublemaker to your call.
And meanwhile, Bugle's going for the DFO here,
Score phase. Attempt to confront both.
Yep.
which is a big hurt
Wait,
for
what?
Thorax.
Oh. Ah.
Let's see. I have 14.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11.
Like, yeah, certainly, if he'd followed that line,
Okay.
Grandpa's, then
I'll get an extra point.
he wouldn't have committed as hard. Well, Bugle probably wouldn't have done the DFO anyway, but
Characters will come home. Yeah. I have a mystery at Hope Hollow trigger.
is the more power efficient way to get what he wanted done. Search is he in need of a Busterdon, maybe?
I'll
No,
choose
another.
speech.
Oh, of course, another speech for his blue. Yes, why not? Gone. Problems replace. Oof. Buzzer keep away. That is a
Then
9.
turn Big Mac will dismiss Snack Stand.
Thorax isn't going over there anytime soon. Meanwhile, he has 6
Go ahead.
on Unsparkling Cider, but there's
Okay.
soon to be a
Draw.
troublemaker there.
All right. And Doin or
One.
that's a
So a good supply of critters
yes. I mean,
could get a Urza Feather into play this turn.
yeah.
Actually,
and
wait, can he?
Doin. Yeah.
Yeah, he could.
Okay.
Of course, there's no way it would stay in play.
Retire 3 for Entwine. 1, 2, 3. Play Birds of Feather for 1.
And
Gonna
there it
pay
is.
Pay Spider Surprise
Hmm.
and put her 3 below the top card of your deck.
What's the yeah, you
And so, as mentioned, that is effectively down there for 2 turns at least.
and your turn.
Okay.
Unless Tom really devotes himself to drawing cards.
Ready. Draw card.
Oh wait. Wait, no.
Oh, yeah,
home
you do
limit.
have home limit. Correct. Okay. Trollmaker goes. I'll uncover a Grogar.
All right. So, yep, Thorax is in a. He's in fairly deep trouble, I would say at this point. That Grogar is not going
Sauce for an action
anywhere
token.
anytime soon. Now it's
Blue.
7 on one side, 9 on the other. 1 guard geese to draw for. Other than that, it's kind of hard to see the way out of this. I mean, friends are always there again, as mentioned, to banish Grogar. That's something else to shoot for in this situation too.
pay 2 for Quibble Pants.
Some Meticulous
And pass the turn.
or
Okay.
Bugle. Why not?
80. Draw.
Oh yeah, Bugle's sitting very,
Okay.
very well here. Spooky Ruins is okay. It gives him
Pass.
a chance
Okay.
against
Right.
Troublemaker.
Game 3, Meticulous.
Well, he doesn't need to go as
Bottom.
heavy to
Draw
get
card
past
for turn.
Grogar. But there's Twilight and Spike.
Okay. Sauce for an action token. A3 for Twilight Spike. Then we will banish Grogar.
Okay. Well, yes. Bugle is giving him an open problem for one turn, but with
And pass the turn.
AT,
80. Draw.
good point. Right, yes. But with that Big Mac in play,
Yeah, I pass again.
we'll have
Okay.
to. Yeah, there isn't
Game
really
3.
anything that Grogar deck can do
Ready.
to get rid of it.
Draw
So
card for turn.
actually, yes, all of his resources are kind of dead now.
Oh. Okay. Troublemaker phase uncover. Grubber.
And ouch, I just saw Grubber into Bugle gets the Coriander draw this turn. So 2 things going away.
Let's see.
Bugle, yeah, he's aware. As mentioned, the resources are essentially nothing. Get the Yonas with Coriander more efficiently.
Let's go ahead and choose Kindness Can Be.
Sure.
Then we'll go ahead and go to main phase and pay 3 for Coriander, and I'll go ahead and choose Yona.
And that. I could have said earlier, you play Antoine, you can
Sauce
retire
for
the
action
Bunyips and then bring them
token.
back with kind as can be, but that's now gone.
And
The
go to score phase.
rough spot.
Yep.
As if we
Confront
need
for
to
1.
say that
Yep.
already,
Pass the turn.
but yeah,
Yeah. Draw.
NAT at least.
Alright, let's see. Pay 1 to draw.
Okay.
Alright, interesting. Pay 1 for Brian.
Okay.
Pay 2 for Antoine, or however it's pronounced. So I have 3.
Yeah, Unsparkling Cider only applies to the opponent. It's when an opponent discards first card for a turn. I don't believe Bugle's discarded any cards.
Get rid of 2 critters. Play Birds of a Feather for 4.
We'll Spider Surprise and put it 3 below the top.
I see. Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. should have known this. Right, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, we lost it in the cut, but there was in the raw stream. Tom drew that birds of a feather, and
Alright,
started
so
thinking for
where
a
was
second.
I? Oh yeah,
And
I played
Bugle's
both
hand
cards,
immediately
then
went to
got
the spider
rid of the
surprise
card
because
and
he knew
drew
what that
again.
card was.
Sorry, I shouldn't. Anyway.
Yeah. So, for what it's worth,
Alright.
uh,
Spooky wounds.
well,
Um.
I was gonna say going for the buzzer keep away
Snake
is
yellow.
something. It's a task to go for.
One
Bugle can
cheaper for
put another
N-Tron
troublemaker
and
there, though.
one cheaper for Snack Stand, so this goes for free.
Okay.
And then it's your turn.
Okay. Ready. Gain 4. Meticulous.
Played.
Bottom.
Buzzer keep.
Draw a card. Okay.
Other ultimate organizers. Just, frankly, a little bit less useful. Why not? But still needs to improve his position. Other
pay 1 to
Starlight, maybe. Well, second Big Mac. But also helps.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Sauce for an action token.
I think, probably, if I was in.
Yeah, no, that I do want to do it. 2
Well,
for
yeah.
Big Mac.
Seeing this come down. 4x now out of a hand. On low AT.
Score phase, confront for a point.
Control deck is confronting.
End turn, dismiss both your resources.
Wait. Oh, I see.
Definitely getting into scooping
18.
territory. I
Well,
think, personally. Unsat
Alright,
is
so it would be 2 versus 5.
relevant.
Main phase, I guess. Well, okay, so let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can win this anymore. Let's go to the next game.
Okay.
And he
fair
does
enough.
indeed. All right. So that was a well, fairly clinical, dare I say, from Bugle's side. Pretty thorough dismantling. Which, I mean, that's not Tom's fault. It was an unfavored matchup. The way that those decks were built, and probably made the right call, bowing out, giving himself some time for the adventure match. Which is a little bit. I would say he's got a better chance of it. He's playing Bluna. Bluna's always a good bet in adventure, generally. So let me bring it up here. Admittedly, this is a Bluna list. We're used to seeing Bluna pink most of the time. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. We're used to seeing Bluna anything. This is Bluna orange. Up here. Oops, no, that's the Grogar deck. Bluna orange. It's tough to call anything Bluna traditional, but there's a lot of normal cards in here for Bluna. Rutherford, Night Glider, in both of her incarnations. Admittedly, Night Glider, I remember last tournament, was not the most outstanding card. I think did we ever get a Night Glider trigger in last year's Invitational? There was plenty that got played, but they all just kind of got removed often enough. I should mention, I suppose, for those key cards being shown over there, Bugle is playing his Celestia combo list. So this is going to be combo versus aggro. So that means that in Tom's case, this is a go fast matchup. I don't believe, again, I don't believe his deck has really extremely significant disruption. Admittedly, the bailout is something. If Bugle is in the process of going off, bailout on Daybreaker stops him for 2 turns unless he has another Daybreaker. So that's something. But he has no permanent removal. So his best counter to the combo is just going to be winning before Bugle is able to get his stuff together. This is orange and blue can go very well together. He is missing some of the kind of big value over time orange-blue cards like Smolder, Planning an Adventure. I can't think of the name of a couple other ones off the top of my head, but he does have Smart Cookie in here, which can be a much kind of faster, quicker first turn kind of thing. He's got Follow My Lead to power his Apple Blooms. Got Double Diamond to power up Bluna. Got Wannabets for extra point acceleration if he needs them, plus those Night Gliders, plus Buckball Championship. So if he's able to get out to a good start, and is able to kind of keep his momentum going, often with a drawing a flushy dash at the right time or flipping into the right problem, he could establish some pretty good early game momentum, and that's probably what he's. If that's his route to victory here. Sorry, you're right, Prism Light. Thank you. I forgot there. I said Night Glider in all her incarnations. Yeah, there are a couple of other ones that I'm forgetting about here. These are the 2 normal ones. Well, the 2 ones we're used to seeing in Luna lists anyway. Over on Bugle's side of the board, mentioned, this is Celestia combo, not the usual Celestia combo, but the kind that has emerged in this tournament in the wake of Mistmane not being available. If you haven't seen it in action yet, I've kind of got it over there on the right-hand side of the screen. The idea is you have Daybreaker in play. You have the Starlight at the same location, because she only read Studious to friends here. And then you play Granny Smith. You ideally win the face-off. If you don't, then you're kind of in trouble. But if you win the face-off, then you score a point, you get an AT back, and you've scored a point for 1 AT. And of course, Granny Smith goes back into your hand. If you have a good stock of AT to start with, or if you've ideally played a lunch break and or copied said lunch break, you probably have enough incarnations of running that loop to get you all the way there. Plus, you score some points to start with. Aside from that general piece, of course, we're here with the Celestia main. Nearly all. Sorry. Yeah, she can search for alicorns as well. So nearly, I sometimes forget that. Nearly all of your combo pieces can be searched, with the exception of Granny Smith, being an Earth Pony. But you can search also for Flim and Flam as your white entry, or for your AT accelerations, your Magic Instructor, Baby Flurry Heart if you need to get rid of a resource, Trixie, just a lot of good stuff. And you do want to have unicorns in play for the copying of the lunch break, as we've seen up to now. This outside of the combo, this is a fairly, I want to say, I don't know if I can bring myself to say aggressive list per se. It does. Oh, I guess yeah. There's just a single copy of Lusterdon. So no. This is gonna be, especially against a Bluna list. This is gonna be controlling when it's not comboing. So that is say. But Bugle, yes, is going to try to assemble his combo. And, well, we'll see it when he's got it all in hand and he's got enough blue to play the requirement for lunch break. It can happen fairly suddenly. But he's going to have to be careful. If he lets this game get away from him, Bluna can, well, she can do Bluna things. All right. So, I think that's all that needs to be said before we go into the main. Let us go. Game 2.
Okay, well, I would choose to go first anyway, so alright, then I'm gonna draw my starting hand now.
I will point out, you see Tom on the left-hand side with no playmat.
Okay.
There was a glitch with my TTS that night, and so
Oh, that should be
it's playing with the white playmat,
cards
which is
right.
fine, I suppose. I did tell him that this is how it looked for me, but he elected not to change it.
Keep.
I will keep as well.
So Bugle
drawing.
is looking at a
Alright.
fairly impressive opening hand there
Yeah.
with the double Tranquilities,
So,
Magic Instructor,
80.
Fluent Flam. On Tom's side of the board, it's got Apple Bloom, got Mystery Mary's got Plushy Dash, couple dilemmas. It's got plays to make.
Yeah, I pass.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Gain
some have options. Getting started.
pay 3 for Glimmer. Sauce for an action token. Pass the turn.
Bugle, notably, is not jumping straight into his Tranquilities.
Interesting.
Given that he's got the Magic Instructor in hand, he may be going maximum greed. And
move Luna.
shooting to copy those Tranquilities. Which, hey,
Play
copy
Apple
Tranquility
Bloom, Luna
is very
flips.
good.
Yep.
Exhaust Apple Bloom, discard a card. Pay Mystery Mare for 0. Your friend gets frightened.
Yep.
Attempt to confront.
Sure.
Meanwhile, that's a
And your turn.
Okay.
pretty solid start from Tom as well. Has the staff draw as well. That's the only stick in his deck, so that's a lucky one.
Okay.
He does have Night Glider
Route.
in hand.
Sauce
Night
if you
Glider's
want.
not enough. Well,
Go
if
ahead.
he plays the
Alright. Ready?
stuck together, he has a DFO this turn actually.
80. Draw. Interesting. Thinking.
No, they're Plushy Dash.
Alright. Play the staff. Play stuck together. Go
And
to
stuck together,
280
so
and value stay at 280.
so this is a
Okay.
DFO play.
Go to score phase, attempt to confront.
Okay.
So
Attempt to confront.
Sure.
does have a Spider Surprise, but
Double.
doesn't matter.
Flip the 4, you flip a 3, but yeah, I think it also doesn't really matter. So bonus 1, yeah.
The Wonderbolt Stadium that
And Luna
Tom
isn't
flipped, which
orange
she
anymore.
probably would have wanted, but all right. Got off to a pretty good start. As his DFO, 4 points. Got plenty of momentum
And
in his
your
hand.
turn.
An alternative solution is a relatively easy to confront problem.
Interesting.
And there's the Magic
3 for
Instructor
Glimmer.
early for Bugle.
Okay.
1 for Tranquility.
You are.
Gain 1 and draw 1.
Yep.
We'll copy it. Gain 2 and draw 1.
2, of course, because the
Yeah,
copied
yeah,
effect
that's
sees
probably
the
right, or just with the
tranquility in the discard
variant.
pile.
It's because the copied effect sees a tranquility in the discard.
And we'll
Ah,
give it to you
yeah,
again.
makes sense, makes sense.
Decisions.
So already on combo piece watch. Well, actually, it's got none of his combo
2 for
pieces.
Flim and Flam. We'll choose blue.
Does have a good stock of
2
AT.
for Daring Do.
Daring Do
Okay,
at
I'll
alternative
confront
solution
for
is
alternative twice and gain 2 AT.
very good.
2 points to me in or.
Also 2 AT because of Daring Do.
Yeah, I see.
Go ahead.
All right, AT. Draw.
Tyrix Fan Terror. Or, yeah, that is that one. Yeah. Useful if
All right. Use the
Bugle
staff
flips into
against,
a
Starlight Glimmer.
Which one?
The one at home, the one that produces AT.
Okay. You win.
All right. Card, okay. Apple Bloom effect.
well, okay,
Wait, we
discard
fix
it.
this.
Which also works. This should be DFO,
So
right?
I move Luna
Yes.
for its own effect, and then I move 2 characters for Swinging Wonders.
Okay.
And yeah, attempt to confront alternative solution.
Bugle's gonna
Let's see.
think about his spider surprise here.
You have 1 card in hand.
If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, that Flim and Flam is blue, obviously, so 5/6. He doesn't have the Unity, but he could still play it for a top deck.
We're gonna go ahead and Spider Surprise Mystery Mare to the top of your deck.
Sure.
To the top, you say. All right.
Going over there, he is going
Oh,
to
you don't
keep
have
the
the
single
Unity,
face-off
or-
happening.
I do. But confronting alternative is fine.
So there's. I get a point, and there's a single face-off, which
Yep.
doesn't even matter.
Face-off
I believe
happens.
that's a tie, so we have to flip again.
I'm at 11. Wait, is it?
I have
3,
8, and you have
and
8.
I have 11.
Oh no, you have 11. Right. Okay. I forgot about the staff. Okay, Daybreaker to the bottom.
Yes, no points scored. Daybreaker does go to the bottom for Bugle, though.
Yo,
Tom will be happy to see
then it's
that.
your turn, I guess.
Okay. Game. Ready.
Well,
Draw a card.
Not-
Oh no.
yes, not really.
Whoops.
Daybreaker can be searched. It's a Granny Smith going to the bottom
my
that you
God.
really want to see.
Okay. I'll go to main phase. We'll pay 1 for Tranquility. I'll gain 2 and draw a card. Then we'll copy it. I'll gain 3 and draw a card.
Okay, there's Granny Smith. So that's the hardest piece of the combo to
Wait.
find.
Yeah, they're unicorns, alright.
Yes.
Does
Then
need white entry.
we'll
Well,
boost
sorry,
West
the
in.
Fluid and Flame just came and did that. All right, so that's taken care of.
Okay. Pay 3 for Glimmer. Sauce for an action token.
Hmm?
Pay 2 to
Hmm.
sauce for an action token. Now let's see.
Meanwhile, while
And
thinks,
here we'll pass the turn.
I think Tom
Okay. Ready, AT, draw.
can DFO again.
Let's see.
Yes, he does still have the stick, but he is
Alright, I use the staff against this.
Okay.
right, fair enough.
Flip a 2,
You win.
flip 3. well, I guess then I will just... Ah, sure, if I can't play it anyway.
Okay. So yeah,
I'm
Dash.
thinking, where do I...
Problem for Bluna is that she is a bit
Yeah,
out of
sure.
steam
Play it
now.
here, move Luna for
Totally
its
out of
own
a hand.
effect, and
He
move 2
is
more
going to
characters.
score some
Okay.
points. Bugle has
Attempt
nothing
to
he can do
confront
about
lacking
this.
lesson plans.
You can confront them both.
So he's up to 8
All right,
points.
double.
Actually, 9 points. 2 bonus.
Okay.
And there's my orange entry. I see, well, at this point, it
Wow.
maybe doesn't even matter that much anyway.
Let's see
Bonus,
what he keeps on drawing.
bonus 2.
All right, yeah. Okay, home limit's fine. Then it's your turn.
Okay. Gain Flow and Flame will lose a counter. Draw card for turn.
Okay. Trade is
Okay.
kind of like a combo piece.
Betrayed.
Can
We will
use it to
scare
search
Applebloom.
something
Sauceless.
for either of his combo pieces, since it's 4 power. Trade is.
Fine Flurry.
He finds Flurry Heart though, which makes sense. That is a excellent way to slow down Bluna right now.
I get it. You will get rid of staff. For
Pay 3
1
to get rid of staff.
And then you gain 2 back. Yeah, so you...
Gain 2. Pay 1 for Dixie. Hammock. My next event costs 1 less.
Ah,
Now let's see.
That
Uh,
pretty crucial
yeah, I
Trixie
think
there.
it's worth it.
I
Pay
think.
2 for
Oh no, he's going to do it this way.
Lusterdon.
Okay.
My next event now costs 2 less.
I see.
We will pay 1 for
To
read
gain
the
5
manual.
AT. Yeah, all right.
Gain 5. Then exhaust all this to gain another 5.
Fortunate, I'm only just now occurring to me that
Okay.
I could have edited in
Nice.
a counter for how much AT Bugle gains
Pay to draw.
from sources other than
Okay.
start of turn. Because
Pay to draw.
he might have gained more AT
Okay.
from other
Pay to draw.
sources so far than from his turns.
Okay. Pay to draw. Okay.
Granny Smith, there's a lunch break. Only missing Starlight. Needs a play an event. Search for that. Although lunch break would actually do it. So he's getting
Sauce
close.
for an action token. Pay 3 for Daybreaker. One to Swift Daring Do. And pay 2 to Rally Glimmer. Sauce Glimmer for an action token. And then proceed to score phase.
Yep, you can confront that.
Confront for an action token. Daring Do will give me an AT and pass the turn.
Yep. All right. AT. Draw.
Oh, well, Night Glider.
Interesting.
That's good. But what Tom really needs is a hasty friend. If he, well, really a DFO on here for him. About the stick. Draws again and finds another stuck together. He needs a hasty friend and a stuck together, which is conceivably possible.
All right. Pay 1 to
Not
draw.
hard.
Okay.
Hard.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That is true. Anyway, Night Glider is a reasonable friend to have in play in the combos happening. He actually has a reasonable shot winning the face-off against Daybreaker. 4 power versus 6.
Rally,
Okay.
use the ability. Remember that this is in the discard pile. So blue not, yeah, good idea. And attempt to confront Bugball.
That's fine.
Okay. Single
Pass.
confront.
Okay.
3 points on the board, though.
Ready a lot.
Tom has... Lucky he has a
Continues
couple more turns. But may not. Well, I mean, we'll see.
Start turn, lose a
Bugle's
counter.
got a lot of AT to work with here.
Draw a card for turn. Okay. I have not gained AT for the
9 AT. Copied Tranquility
Okay.
still to come.
Let's see here.
Doing the math.
We're gonna pay 2 for Flim and Flam. I'm gonna choose white. 3 power counters. My next event will cost 1 less this turn.
Yep. Let me see.
Then we're going to pay, let's see, 3 for a lunch break.
There it is.
I'll take an additional turn.
Okay.
We're going to exhaust Flam, Flim and Flam,
Yeah. So wait, how was it
Trixie,
with
Luster Dawn, and Starlight Glimmer to copy lunch break.
so what was it? You get 2 extra turns,
I
but
get
you
2
lose
extra
the
turns.
AP only during this turn and not during next turn. I think that's how it was.
Yes, only lose AT at the end of this turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this die to keep track of my extra turns in case
Yeah,
it increases further.
All right.
Then we will
Oh,
exhaust Celestia.
Yeah, lunch break finds the Starlight, and then he is all good to go, I think.
To find a head mare.
what's this? Oh yeah, I want to. To study us. Ah, it's a combo piece with Grandma Smith. Yeah. Okay.
Let's
Grand-
see.
Got 2 turns worth.
Want to do.
We're at plus 4 AT.
Sauce to gain 2 action
Oops.
tokens.
Good. I think he's, well,
Pay 3
see,
for
I guess,
Starlight
if he's got
Glimmer
enough AT to make it work. I
here.
probably got so much.
2 to move. No. 2 for. Two for Granny Smith.
And
Here.
there it is.
I will choose Daybreaker. What friend will you choose?
Oh, it has to be a friend. Night Glider.
Okay.
Mention this is not necessarily a sure thing.
I win. I'll gain a point and an
Okay.
action token.
Pull it off this time though.
Granny Smith will return to my hand. Then we'll pay 2 and move Celestia. I will proceed to score phase and confront lacking lesson plans.
Yep.
Gain 1 point and 1 action token. I will spend the action token to play Twilight.
I see. That's why you used. Oh yeah, you're thinking in terms of next turn and you lose the AP. Yeah, I see.
Okay.
All right. And so, yeah, you'll need
Discard
to
day.
use up all his AT for lunch break. Took care of it. But now, yeah, it is a math game. And a matter of
Go down to 1 extra.
whether Tom ever wins this face-off.
Lose a counter. Gain 4 action tokens. Draw a card for turn. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna start by paying 1 for tranquility.
Okay.
I'll gain 3.
Ability gets
And draw a
copied.
card.
One assumes.
We will then copy that to gain 4 and draw a card.
The maximum tranquility.
Okay.
All three tranquilities copied.
Sauce both of these, gain 2.
And that should be enough now, right?
Pay 1 to betrayed Night Glider.
Oh, well, especially that
Exhaust less.
makes it a lot easier for him. 11 action
For
tokens.
a hat trick.
The whole deal, the combo is 1 action token, 1 point. So that should be enough.
Okay. I believe now it is deterministic. Even if I flip a 2, yeah. Okay, let's start scoring a whole bunch of points. I'm gonna pay 2 for Granny Smith. I'll choose Daybreak.
Choose swinging
And
one.
here we go.
Okay. 5, 9.
3, 8, 9. Yeah, you win.
Okay. Gain an AT and a point. And Granny Smith goes to my.
It's still, well,
Pay 2. Granny Smith.
not a particularly intricate
Yeah.
combo to run.
I always swinging wonders, of
I'll
course.
choose Daybreak.
It's my strongest one.
Okay. I'll do the same.
Should have checked.
You can
See if there's
shortcut
any
it if you want.
chaos effects that potentially matter in this deck.
And flip. Oh.
We just have to be careful to make sure Bugle is managing his points in AT properly.
I flipped Twilighting.
I flipped one a bet. I already put it to the bottom.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Gain point in AT. Pay 2.
4,
I have
so
10.
you win.
Point in. Pay 2.
2, 5, so you
Okay.
win.
Point in an AT.
Isn't really much to be said. We're kind of
Flip.
going through the motions
so you
here.
win.
Point in an.
I believe I tell Bugle, yeah, to correct his key there.
Pay 2.
It's going to be close.
So you win.
Point in an AT.
Although
Pay 2.
it's confronting that problem. He has 1 for free.
Win.
Point in an AT. Pay 2.
So you win.
Point in an AT, and then I'll go to score phase and win.
And that's that.
All right. So that's how you want to end it. You want your last point for confronting. All right, then.
Yep. It's easier.
Yeah, then you got it. But it was a better game than the last one, where I always maybe played better.
All right. So those are our 2 games. As Tom mentioned, yeah, this was a bit of a closer one. There were certainly draws there toward the end. If Tom had gotten 1 more turn, he could have made it closer. Yeah, there weren't enough bonus points on the board. Well, he had the Night Glider in play, so maybe it's a hypothetical to be drawn out. But Bugle got his combo in time, got it off, managed to secure himself a spot in the upper finals. Speaking of, let's just bring up that bracket. So yes, Bugle goes into the upper finals to match up with Grandpa's. That game has actually already been recorded, but I can't. Well, you'll have to find out for yourself next week which of them comes out on top and goes to the grand finals. Tom, meanwhile, is of course not out. He drops down into the lower bracket to meet up with Hithrock. That game was also recorded earlier today, on a good cadence, on a good clip with those recordings. If you want to find out the winner of that match, you're going to need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let me just get you the link here very quickly. Here it is. Yeah, the lower bracket games are all getting uploaded over here. With on the Wednesdays. Wednesdays are when the lower bracket matches get uploaded. So the match against Tom versus Hithrock is going to go there. And then the match of Cheese versus Pancake is going to follow the week after. As mentioned, yes, Grandpa's versus Bugle is going to be on Saturday next week. And then we're going to have the lower bracket semifinal on the 11th November. And then there's going to be a break because the following weekend, the 17th through 20th, or 17th through 19th, sorry, of November, that's Ponyville Cider Fest, a relatively sizable event in convention circles. It is safe to assume that there's going to be a fairly large CCG event going on there. Most of you probably are going to be paying attention to that, either at the con or otherwise. So we won't try to distract you from that. We're just going to hold off on the stream for that week, and then we'll pick up again on the 25th of November. In the meantime, that is going to conclude our presentation for tonight. Thank you all for being such a great audience, for helping me along with this solo commentary. I know winter just started very much so here in Winnipeg. We had 3 straight days of snowfall, and it's looking a bit more like December out there. But I'm nice and warm in here, and I hope that wherever you are tonight, you are safe and warm and comfortable, and that you've got a great evening lined up after this. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. I have been Cursed Chords. Have a good evening.